People, deluded, I'm back again. When we speak about football, where's my manners? People, deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all well and safe, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in this world. Like I said, I hope you're all well and safe and welcome back. Now that I've remembered the manners my mother gave me, you should probably slap me around the ears if she saw this video. Where's my manners? When we speak about football, we always, I do it myself, technical ability, all of these, you know, technical tactics, all of these sort of things, and they're all relevant, they all play a part. But I do think we do forget, and especially, you know, obviously football in the Premier League or top league is completely different to playing Sunday league or playing the park with your boys. But excluding the speed of thought, the obvious technical differences and abilities and stuff like that, there isn't much in it. The basic premises of football stay the same. And that's where real football fans, and a lot of you watch me, well, you're subscribed to me or you watch me, so I know you lot are fans of football clubs, whether that's Arsenal or wherever. Second, you're fans of football in its purest form. So you get this sort of stuff. But for me, I think the psychological factors in football are not spoken about the same way. I always say confidence. You know, you need confidence. When, as much as we'll all, myself included, speak about mistakes, I don't care if players make mistakes. They're a hazard of the game. When you keep making the same mistake, it becomes a choice. But if you misplace a pass after you've attempted one, it is what it is. Like if I'm a coach, I'm be one of the harshest coaches there is. But at the same time, football isn't that deep. You know, we're not operating on lives and stuff. We can go. Mistakes happen. We will learn, sort of thing. So I do think confidence is something that isn't spoken about, you know, and them sort of things. And confidence can only breed consistency. Consistency gives you confidence, and actual competence can breed the three. So, you know, they're the three C's I like to live by. But psychologically, there's more things, and for me, trust. Trust isn't spoken about enough. Once you lose trust, it doesn't matter. You look at Arsenal, Chesney, you know, he's gone off to do things at Juventus and doing things, so it's worked out for the best. But he lost Wenger's trust after the Southampton game. From you lose a man's trust, that's it. Matteo Guendouzi, I'm not saying Arteta is his biggest fan and is going to make him central to his plans, but I do think he was rather fond of him. But he's lost his trust. There's been too many incidences, so now it's got to a point where Arteta doesn't care about your ability. He doesn't care that you could potentially, you know, we signed you for 7-8 million and we're going to get 30. You might become a £50 million player. I don't care. You might be able to be someone that's central to this team, be the next Petit and things. I don't care, because there's too many incidences where you're hearing, and I'm making a broad point, I'm just using Guendouzi with the Dubai, with now, it's like I haven't got time for this. So he's lost his trust. So it doesn't, and that's the dangerous thing, you know. Balotelli's lost trust from managers. Look at Mancini. You know, when you lose a manager's trust, that's it for you, because it goes beyond looking at your ability. They don't trust you to do a job. They don't trust that you're going to do what you're going to do. So there's no going back with that. And trust is an important thing, and I don't think people speak about it rightly. Like I was reading The Athletic, and you know, they did a piece on Van Persie. As we know, Van Persie is the perfect example, because he had the potential. Injuries is a big part as to why he didn't, you know, kick on quicker, but he had a good attitude. I like to see attitude like Van Persie. He's fiery by nature. It just needed to be guided, because obviously as a striker, if you're easily rattled, you're going to get sent off. You're going to be caught doing a madness to strikers and things like that. Even in Sir Alex Ferguson's book, you know, he ironically, you know, it all worked out. He went to Man United at the right time and won the league, but they wanted him at 16 years of age. They didn't sign him because he got sent off as a 16-year-old when they went to watch him. He had a fiery temper, so maybe they deemed he wasn't mature. He wasn't mature enough. Arsenal took a chance on him, fiery temper, and it cost him. If you lot remember against Southampton, you know, this is Van Persie's words himself. He said, "Against Southampton, I made the worst choice at the moment, but in the end, it was something that really helped me. A really important lesson for me to learn, because in the following 4 or 5 weeks, I didn't play a key role for the team. Arsene didn't really pick me. It was only after a couple of weeks that he started to talk to me again." And this was after people, he said, he basically, long story short, I didn't copy and paste it, but he was on the yellow. He asked Van Persie to calm down. Van Persie went and got sent off. Again, you're losing man's trust. Ironically, why is it always against Southampton? He said, "Listen, you want to be a top player? Yeah, I would love to. So ask yourself the right questions. Why are you not a top player? And most of the other guys who are playing are top players." And that's right. And I try to do that with my deluded thing and in life. Ask myself the right questions. sort of thing, people. And that's how you provoke the inspiration within a man. Because what Wenger did there, that's provoking a different thought in Van Persie. Wenger could clearly tell him how good he is, what he could be, why he shouldn't do things, and he probably did. But at the same time, you can bring people to water, they have to drink it. If you force it down their mouth, they're not going to fully appreciate the water you've given them and the nourishment you've provided to them. Do you get it? So he's provoked the thought in Van Persie. Why am I not where I want to be? Why do I keep doing this? What better questions can I ask myself? And with that, he's provoked a winner within Van Persie. And is it a coincidence that years later Van Persie's developing and he's actually changed his mentality? He said, you know what, you lot are not on a winning team, I'm busting out. Trust is a vital role, people. Like I said with Guendouzi, it's gone. In relation to the opponents, people, he said, the opponents found out that if they triggered me, they could get me sent off. If the opponent was stepping on my toes and trying to bully me, I was going hard against it. For a long time, I was mentally, physically drained after every match. Then I realised that I was consistently fighting. In the end, I started to think about that. Then it made sense to me. I shouldn't have that reaction. I shouldn't go against it. I should stand above it. I talked with Arsene Wenger about this as well and slowly I started to change that. Once I did that, everything became lightly. It was so heavy for all those years, but I was making it heavy. I just needed a few years to realise that. He did say he said hours watching clips with Arsenal's analytical team, and he said, when I read them back, I realised that I was lying to myself. He says, I was being too positive, making myself feel better. This is obviously in relation to writing positive and negative. So again, honesty. Coaches need to be honest. Players need to be honest. And why do I always say, people, I always like to personally look in a mirror when I talk about my life and where I want to be and if I've hit the goals and stuff. And I always say that with players. I said it in my preview of the FA Cup. If we lose that, when we go into that changing room, win, lose or draw, make sure you can look in that mirror and say, I gave it all. There wasn't anything more truthfully I could have done. Because you be truthful with yourself in life, and everything else is easier. And that's the thing with life. We all like to be comforted by lies. Why do you think people like to use vices like drugs, alcohol? There's nothing wrong with holidays, but what do you hear typically people do? You go on holidays to escape things, and then they'll come back from that holiday to the same problems they're running with rather than facing them head on. It's because people don't like to be honest with themselves. People in life would rather be no matter what they say. People say they like honesty, but then people won't like you because you're honest. People like facades. People like to be comforted by lies, and the minute you can start asking yourself tough questions, for me, I've learned anyways, you can advance people. He also said he started to ask his teammates stuff, and he learned. And he did say he spoke to Sol Campbell, and it really made the biggest impression. He said, when I was younger, I'd love to have the ball at feet, but if you really want to hurt opponents, you really want to test them, you have to make runs in behind. Sol told him, when I play against you, it's easy. Yes, you are good, but you don't challenge me because you don't make runs in behind. And that's another thing. Obviously, for strikers, as you get older, you need to learn to affect games in the other way. That natural inclination is to drop deep. You look at Greenwood. Greenwood has showed how good he is and he's mature above his ages. But against Aston Villa, was it Villa? He scored in that game, but it might have been that. Or there was another game he showed his age because Greenwood didn't play poor, but Greenwood didn't play amazing, but he was showing, it weren't going his way, but he was showing his naivety, dropping unnecessarily deep to get onto the ball. And that's what young players do. Why do you think as they get older, they realise to play in certain areas? Look at Mo Salah. Obviously, a bit of it is development, but he's not hugging the touchline unnecessarily now. He's more central than he was before, or more inside in the half space, because he's nearer to the goal. Raheem Sterling, together with coaching, he realises areas you need to be in, and it's about the penny dropping for yourself. And I think there's only so much a coach can do. There's only so much Arteta can do to these players. They need to provoke the thoughts themselves, especially the young players, and especially those that are not young, the experienced individuals that make certain mistakes time and time again, or haven't kicked on as much. You need to be able to ask yourself the right questions. When you can ask yourself better questions, you could even ask your coach better questions as how you can improve. But that only comes between the coach inspiring that thought and the players actually taking that fire and utilising it and letting it build and build and build. But trust is a massive thing in football, people, and I think it is very underestimated. And, using Arsenal's Guendouzi, for all his abilities, he's lost Arteta's trust and maybe other individuals' trust, and it's gone now. It's time to go now, sort of thing. And on that note, though, nothing more to add, so I'm going to keep it moving. It's always a pleasure speaking with you guys, but for now, DG, I'm out.